This episode of Weekly Weird News is sponsored by Feels and by ExpressVPN.
So it's a common refrain to see something that's gnarly in a very specific way and remark, that's so metal. Thing happens, that's so metal. But really, that's so metal, it's reserved for stuff that's like, one, extremely excessive, and two, extremely dark. But also three, extremely cool. All of that is obviously pretty subjective, but digging up your uncle's corpse and turning his torso, or at least what's left of it, into a guitar is pretty metal.
Yeah, I think that, if you sent this off to the judges of Pretty Fucking Metal, then I think that this would win. They would get the approval.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said pretty fucking metal, but it's the first minute of a YouTube video. They don't really like those R-rated curse words in the first minute. So
we could have made it 30 seconds in. I really held out the feels on the sponsor, so hopefully we're okay.
Feels.
Dag nabbit, we cussed. Well, anyways, luckily we have sponsors on the video, so it's fine. But yes, a man in Florida, no less,
Florida man.
Yes, has apparently crafted a playable electric guitar out of the bones of his deceased uncle. The man who he says was the one who first introduced him to metal music. From the Instagram account of artist Prince Midnight on January 26th. So, my uncle Philip died in the 90s and donated his body to science. However, the schools in Greece discontinued using actual skeletons, and he ended up in a box in a cemetery that the family has had to pay rent on. Permanent grave was $150,000. So, we finally made the move to bring him to the US. Happy to be reunited.
So, okay, he's got the bones. What next? Well, a few days later, he posted this to Instagram. As many of you know, my Uncle Philip was a big metalhead and very influential to me growing up. Since repatriating his remains, I've struggled with what to do with them. I have decided that I will be turning Uncle Philip into the first actual human skeleton guitar so he can continue to shred forever.
What a loving send-off.
What then follows is several Instagram posts detailing the process of actually turning a skeleton torso into a functional guitar, which is a little more complicated than you might guess. This includes adding a steel rod and steel brackets for stability, and also plenty of soldering and drilling. Here's a fun fact you probably didn't want to know. According to Prince Midnight, drilling bone smells worse than soldering wires. Lovely.
Nice. And sure enough, after about a week of work, the Skelecaster was born. Here's Prince Midnight playing it. Yeah, okay, not exactly shredding, but to be fair, the ribcage blocks anything higher than the 13th fret, so you're mostly probably just going to be playing power chords in this thing.
It looks difficult to play.
Yeah, anyways, once Prince Midnight's Skelecaster started going a bit viral, Huffington Post reached out to him for an interview, and he provided a few more details. For instance, he had wanted to use his uncle's skull as the headstock of the guitar, but unfortunately it was too damaged.
Damn.
Get out the Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, that's
It works
true.
on skulls.
It does.
Also, due to the nature of this little project, Prince Midnight says that he is forbidden by law from ever selling it, which is probably a good thing.
It's priceless.
Yeah.
He also told Huffington Post about how this idea went over when he brought it up with his mother. Quote, "At first she said it was sacrilegious and the work of the devil. You know how moms are. But I asked her, Uncle Philip was the biggest metalhead of anybody. Where would he rather be? In the ground or shredding? She said shredding."
Well, there you go.
In another interview with CBC Radio's As It Happens, Prince Midnight said, "I feel like Uncle Phil is not just here now figuratively, he's here literally too. I'm literally giving my Uncle Phil hugs while he's figuratively with me, creating, heavy metal riffs."
Love that his name's Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
So this story has understandably been reported on by outlets around the world because it's so unusual and morbid and taboo. But the reporting on it in Prince Midnight's native Tampa, Florida has been a bit less credulous. From the Tampa Bay Times.
Now, some might say that a story about a guy turning his uncle's bones into a guitar because the Orthodox religion doesn't want people cremated sounds like an obvious hoax. But imagine the effort that would take. It would require a man masquerading as Prince Midnight, real name supposedly Iago Onyx, making up a detailed backstory about his life as a longtime musician in the Tampa metal scene, and giving multiple interviews in character, going all the way back to a September episode of the local show Grand National Championships. That would mean he was setting the stage for this for months, including recording an entire EP as Prince Midnight and getting it on Spotify, and screen printing Prince Midnight merchandise that he posted photos of on Prince Midnight's Instagram account, which has actively been posting for months, including photos of the cemetery he worked with to recover Uncle Philip, just like his Facebook and Twitter accounts. Yeah, have to be some kind of comedic savant, right?
It continues. On top of all that groundwork, this supposed prankster would still have to build an actual functioning guitar out of a skeleton. That can't be easy. And he'd have to have the audacity to believe that journalists would not see his insane wig as a glaring red flag. Who would go through all that just to prank the news? I mean, sure, there is one guy, Odalin Ozare, the Tampa resident who holds the Guinness World Records for world's tallest hat and longest acrylic nails.
That man is Doug Dimmadome, and I will not have this other Tampa resident besmirch his name.
Ozare has been similarly accused of creating a fake persona as a dandy hat maker to get on the news, and he bears a striking resemblance to Prince Midnight, who also bears a striking resemblance to Justin Arnold, the Tampa resident who once pranked Tampa Bay Times newspaper into publishing a photo of a two-headed alligator on the cover. That must be a coincidence, though, right? The Tampa Bay Times reached out to Ozare Thursday to ask if he knows this fellow Tampa artist, Prince Midnight, or had any thoughts on the craftsmanship of his guitar. Quote, "No, I only really listen to Babs," Ozare said, referencing Barbra Streisand. "Looks dreadful."
And yeah, I mean, it sure does look like Prince Midnight is the same guy as Odalin Ozare, a very dandyish looking fellow who did in fact end up in the Guinness Book of World Records for both the world's tallest hat, refuse to believe it's not Doug Dimmadome, and the world's longest acrylic fingernails, which seems like something you could just do and not really... I guess with the hat, too, you just got to build it.
Yeah.
It's like how everyone has the world's longest pizza or biggest pizza like every year.
Yeah, the Guinness records, we've talked about this, but it's kind of a joke these days.
Now, those records got him plenty of attention in the local press and local morning news shows, along with opportunities like throwing out the first pitch for the local minor league team, the Bradenton Marauders. And he also apparently sent a bunch of news outlets this fake picture of a two-headed alligator under the name Justin Arnold.
So, is the skeleton guitar legit? Is it real? But the backstory is a lie? Is it just some random skeleton cadaver that this guy got a hold of? Or is it a replica skeleton, not a skeleton at all? Whatever the case, Prince Midnight or Odalin Ozare or Justin Arnold seems to be really good at getting himself in the news. And this latest stunt is a pretty brilliant way to bring attention to himself and, by extension, Prince Midnight's self-titled album that was released just a few weeks ago. And I listened to it. If you're curious, it's metal, but has lots of vibraphone, which is an instrument mostly found in like very mellow jazz music from like the 60s and some classical music. So it's certainly unique. Yeah. It's similar to like a xylophone. It's like all these like chugging riffs is like boop, 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 boop.
The Tampa metal scene has always had a bit of like a showmanship or like, you know, trying to get on the news to get any kind of notoriety. There was when I was in late high school, maybe just out of high school, there was a band from Tampa called Hell on Earth. And they were going to be the first band to ever have someone kill themselves on stage. But it was, according to the news stories, it was someone who was about to die. Like they were terminally ill.
Okay.
And they wanted to do the right to die thing. They're like, well, come on stage and do it. And that way somehow it'll be legal. And then we'll get a bunch of notoriety by being like the most metal band ever by getting someone to kill themselves on stage. That was also weird. And then a couple of years later, not really metal, but in the same scene.
It didn't happen?
No, there was outrage.
Oh.
Lots of outrage.
Yeah, makes sense.
Years later, not really, but somewhat tangential to the metal scene was that Tri-Devil girl who had the three boobs.
Oh yeah, Jasmine Lie Devil.
Yeah.
She did not actually have three boobs. That's not possible.
And then of course you have the Cannibal Corpse guy lives in Tampa. Yeah.
Well, I think he lives in prison now. But,
yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It is like Tampa is like our little Norwegian black metal. Like all the craziest metal shit seems to happen there, but just for attention, so not like
Tampa's in some ways the Florida of Florida, is what you're saying?
Yeah. No, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Well, the more you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of scammers and grifters, we're still awaiting updates on fake Dr. Malachi Love Robinson, who got into scamming again after almost immediately being released from prison. But in the meantime, here's a new character, Officer Vincent Richardson of the Chicago Police Department. Like a lot of cops these days, when he's not out patrolling the streets for crime, he likes to let loose on TikTok with various videos featuring him dancing around in uniform. Also, he's not actually a cop.
No, he's a fake cop. Cops love posting on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Anyway, the fact that Vincent Richardson dressed up head to toe as a cop and repeatedly did stuff like pull people over and direct traffic is pretty concerning. But what's especially wild about this guy is that he's been at it for a very long time. The 26-year-old was arrested last week for a handful of incidents impersonating a cop. But the first time he got caught doing this was 12 years ago in 2009 when Richardson was just 14 years old.
Hey, rookie.
From a 2009 Chicago Tribune article.
The boy, who has been charged as a juvenile for impersonating an officer, walked into the Grand Crossing District Station, 7040 South Cottage Grove Ave, dressed in a Chicago police uniform. Police spokeswoman Monique Bond said. The boy, who reported for duty around 1:30 p.m., partnered with another police officer for about 5 hours. The boy identified himself as an officer from another district, but was detailed for the day to Grand Crossing and also was savvy enough to sign out a police radio and a ticket book, according to the source. The source also said the boy went on traffic stops with the officer he went on the street with. After his tour was over, a ranking officer became suspicious of the boy. Police said the officer discovered the teen was not a real police officer when he couldn't produce any credentials. The boy was wearing police-issued pants, shirt, vest, sweater, and skull cap, police said.
5 hours. And like he was involved in an arrest.
The older I get, the younger these new rookies start looking.
It later came out like the woman who was assigned as like a partner, like she had him drive the cop car at one point. He's 14 years old.
You're doing a great job.
Wow. Yeah. And he was involved in like the young police
athletic league or something?
Police explorers or whatever, like basically like Boy Scouts for little narcs who want to become cops when they grow up. So he knew the names of like a ton of cops in the area. So he's just like, yeah, so I work at the other department with blah, 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 blah. And they're like, all right, yeah, seems like a cop to me.
I mean,
get in the car.
That's believable.
I don't think he had a gun at any point, but...
Did he already have a mustache? Because I know like...
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like there's always like one or two kids at middle school or like early high school that have full-blown mustaches.
Can you imagine being like 14 just, I'm a cop now. That was easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this obviously has some pretty crazy parallels to 17-year-old Malachi Love Robinson roaming the halls of a hospital for an entire month dressed as a fake doctor. But it's somehow even crazier because it's a 14-year-old successfully impersonating a cop.
It's insane to me that they were like, okay, I guess this is my partner today.
Yeah, all right, sure. Let's go for a ride-along, kid.
Yeah.
Welcome to the forest.
Yeah.
He told the Chicago Tribune at the time, quote, I was really looking to make my community safer. I feel like, honestly, that I was put on earth to make my community safer, and I saw an opportunity, and I feel like that was my destiny. Which is very similar to when Malachi Love Robinson's like, I've been a doctor for years. I'm a doctor.
At some point, did the 14-year-old that was like stop his partner and be like, don't shoot the guy. It might just be a wallet. Did he save any lives or anything like that?
Doesn't sound like it.
Oh.
And like with Dr. Love, Vincent Richardson got off mostly with a slap on the wrist the first time, since he was a minor.
If you're under 18, you won't be doing any time.
If you're gonna do crimes, do them before you turn 18.
Yeah.
But then he just proceeded to keep on impersonating the police well into adulthood. And also, he changed things up a bit just months after that first incident by pretending to be a businessman at a Lexus dealership so he could test drive a car, which he ended up crashing.
But this is what's Malachi's a bit different, but I feel like if this kid wanted to be a cop, he could have been a cop.
Yeah, he can't anymore because he's got like
felonies.
Yeah,
I know, but like after that first one, it's like, all right, well, look.
He literally
pleading his case, he just really wanted to be a cop, and now he's old enough to be a cop. Give him a shot or whatever.
But yeah, it's too late now. If he had just waited 4 more years, he could have like fast-tracked into the force. But
kids are all antsy. They just want to get going, you know?
Look, kid, you got moxie. I'll give you that. You know what? You can stay.
How the hell are you retiring by 35 years old? Well, I started when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Anyways, a few years later, at age 19, he was arrested again at a store that supplies uniforms to the CPD for impersonating a cop and trying to buy a police uniform and supplies. And it almost worked until an employee got a little suspicious and Googled his name and saw that he was the fake kid cop from a few years earlier. Wait, hold on.
Wait.
We got a celebrity in the store. That incident actually landed him in prison for 18 months, but then in 2014, while still on parole, he was arrested again in another police impersonation incident, sending him back to jail for another 4 months. And just a few months after being released from that stint in jail, he was arrested along with another man, both of whom were dressed up like cops. That was felony number 2.
And now he's been arrested yet again, this time for multiple police impersonation incidents in just the past month, including conducting a traffic stop and searching a vehicle. And it sounds like at this point, the local PD, they just Google this guy on a regular basis to see if he's up to his bullshit again. So the TikTok videos probably let them know that he was indeed back on that bullshit. And also, one of those TikTok videos is of Vincent Richardson at a shooting range, dressed as a cop, firing a handgun, which he's definitely not allowed to be doing due to his previous felony convictions, which make possession of a firearm illegal in this country. So yeah, this guy, he's a prolific offender for being just 26 years old. He thinks he's on one side of the law, but he's clearly not. And we can't imagine a judge is going to be handling this former kid cop with kid gloves.
You know, the one time he's not pretending to be a cop when he's in prison.
Yeah.
No, I'm a cop! Wait, no! I was impersonating one.
No. I hate cops.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hard to say.
That hurt. I hurt to say.
Yeah, fuck police, right? I hate those guys.
Yeah. Moving on to glue news, which is a recurring theme now, specifically Gorilla Glue news. In a few previous episodes last week, we talked about Tessica Brown, the woman who used Gorilla Glue spray instead of hairspray and accidentally turned her head into a helmet for over a month before eventually getting a plastic surgeon to undo the damage. Well, a lot of people didn't take Tessica's story seriously and thought she was exaggerating for clout. And one such person, a guy named Len Martin, decided to demonstrate how trivial Tessica's Gorilla Glue situation was by trying the Gorilla Glue Challenge himself. Here's a clip.
That shit ain't true. I'm gonna show y'all something. I got some Gorilla Glue right here. Super glue, real. Watch out. I'm gonna take it, put it on this cup, put it in my mouth. Then I'm gonna be to lick it and get it off. It's easy. Gorilla Glue garbage. I'm telling you now.
I feel like we need to clear the air because you don't
Watch
want
out.
something crazy happening.
Put it on here.
Farewell thing. You know what? I think. Hey. How are you?
Then I'm gonna put it on my mouth.
So the caption for that video reads, "I thought that chick with the Gorilla Glue was making that story up. But no, it's real. I don't know why I tried it. Now they're talking about cutting the tip of my lips off in surgery.
Oh.
Y'all pray for me." And yeah, here he is apparently in the hospital with that red Solo cup just still attached to his lips underneath a fucking surgical mask, while a doctor seems to be explaining what a fucking idiot he is to him.
We have better things to do!
Yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic, buddy. This is.
Stop all TikTok and YouTube challenges.
We need to shut full and complete shutdown of TikTok and
No.
figure out what the hell is going
I'm
on.
hooked now. It's like cigarettes.
Yeah.
All my videos now, they've switched from home improvement to back cracking and neck cracking chiropractic videos.
My wife posted a TikTok like a couple days ago, and it's gotten more views than like her entire YouTube channel has in its entire like span.
I posted a little, I know I made an Offspring joke in this episode, but I posted an Offspring joke on there, and it has like 80,000 views.
Yeah.
And every day comments just
But are they like Facebook views where it's like if you scroll past it, that's a view?
I don't know. I haven't checked the analytics, but it has a ton of comments and reactions and stuff on it. So
I guess it is the future.
We need to hire like a young hip TikTok social media person that just cuts clips out of our video and puts them up there.
Yeah, we're too horizontal though. We gotta get vertical.
Yeah.
One of us needs to stand on each other's shoulders when we do TikTok news.
Yeah, we just need to do like a talking heads show like on VH1. You just split us in the middle and then cut back and forth.
Yeah. But back to this guy who glued a fucking Solo cup to his lips. Apparently, he also previously enjoyed a tiny bit of viral fame for participating in the ice cream challenge, which, again, not really a challenge. It was just that thing where assholes were going to the grocery store and like opening up ice cream containers and licking it. So, yeah, sounds about right. But I don't know. This is all starting to feel like viral marketing for Gorilla Glue. It's like, it's as strong as they say it is.
Yeah, I think I've only seen a couple like super like mean-spirited things on there. You just like click the not interested button.
Oh, on TikTok?
Yeah, and it gets it all out of there. And then I just get right back into how to not let 2x4s split when you drill into them.
I love that shit. I love watching videos of like power tools I will never own.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they do dovetail joints.
You know what's great? Lathes. I can watch a lathe all day.
Yeah. Very relaxing.
Yeah.
The other night I couldn't sleep. I watched like 5 hours of This Old House.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sleep because I was super into it. Like, I put this on to make me fall asleep. And I'm very invested in how this house turns out.
Yeah, it was funny. We got like a new dresser or whatever, and it had like the dovetail joints on it. And I was like, no, that's quality craftsmanship.
Yeah.
I know what that is now.
You won't find any of that made in China.
It's so funny. The older generations are just like, yeah, kids these days, they don't know anything about the dovetail joints or power tools or anything. It's like, you didn't teach me any of this.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, Dad.
I didn't learn it from you.
Exactly. Now, before we get into the headlines half of this show, this episode is sponsored by Feels. Do you experience stress? Yes. Or have anxiety? Yep. Chronic pain?
Yes.
Sure, yes. Trouble sleeping at least once a week? I know I do.
At least.
You're not alone. Many of us do, especially these days. Our job involves spending our entire day sitting in a chair doom scrolling, and that comes with a side order of back pain and stress and difficulty going to bed at a decent hour. Plus, I did mountain biking like jumps this week. I was destroyed the entire next day. I didn't crash or anything, but my body felt like it was put through the ringer.
You're not Tony Hawk.
No. I'm sure he feels it too.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank God for Feels. Feels is a CBD delivered directly to your door. Feels naturally helps reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. Just place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and feel the difference within minutes.
The thing to remember about CBD is that finding your right dose is important, and everyone's dose is different. So leave room to experiment over the course of a week or so. You may need to take more or less to get the effects you're after. And if you're new to CBD, Feels offers a free CBD hotline to help guide your personal experience.
Or if you just want someone to talk to.
Yeah. It's lonely times nowadays. Feels works naturally to help you feel better. There's no high, no hangover, no addiction. So join the Feels community to get Feels delivered to your door every month. You'll save money on every order, and you can pause or cancel at any time.
Feels has us feeling our best every day, and it can help you too. Become a member today by going to feels.com/weird, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That is feals.com/weird to become a member and get 50% off taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/weird.
And this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right? You don't want random passersby looking in on you. So why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like going to the bathroom and not closing the door.
Did you know that your internet service provider knows every single website you visit? And what's worse is they can sell this information to ad companies and tech giants who will use your data to target you. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this. It creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone. We use ExpressVPN on all of our devices. It works on everything, phones, laptops, even routers. So if someone's sharing your Wi-Fi, guess what? They're still protected even if they don't have ExpressVPN, and they won't even notice a speed change.
And the best part is using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing that bathroom door. You just fire up the app, click one button, and you're protected. ExpressVPN is the world's #1 rated VPN by CNET, Wired, The Verge, and countless others. So if you're like us and believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself by visiting expressvpn.com/weeklyweird today. That's our exclusive link, expressvpn.com/weeklyweird, and you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/weeklyweird.
All right, let's get into the weirdest headlines from the past week.
Headlines!
Starting with, teen reunited with pet rooster lost at Alabama Cracker Barrel after Civil War reenactment. There's a lot going on there.
Siri, show me the most southern news headline in the world.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I fucking miss Cracker Barrel. It's been a long time. I think I was with you the last time I went to a Cracker Barrel.
I think that's the only time I've been to a Cracker Barrel.
I used to live near one in Florida, but yeah.
Yeah, they don't have them out here. I've only been there in like the middle of Arizona or like New Mexico, like driving that, just the worst drive ever, driving across the Southwest.
But then you
Just
get that Southern fried steak.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like,
how y'all doing? Y'all ain't from around here, are you?
Yeah, you boys ain't from around here. Hey, you know, on your way out, if you see any wicker furniture, you might want to take
or
home.
a gigantic checkerboard.
Yeah, we got stuff.
We got every Woolly Willy in existence. It's right back there in the gift shop.
But yeah, this teenager, he had his pet rooster. He went to his Civil War reenactment, and afterwards they got a hankering for some Cracker Barrel. They went to the Cracker Barrel. He tied up his rooster outside. But when it came back out, no rooster.
Probably stolen.
No, this crafty rooster, I don't know how it got out, but he put up the alarm on Facebook, and there was an effort by the whole local community to track down this rooster, and they were reunited.
I'm glad that he got his rooster back.
Yeah.
And he probably, I'll tell you what, probably got like a, for crying about the pet rooster, probably got a dad's root beer from the gift shop at Cracker Barrel. And
oh, shug.
Yeah. A nice...
Your rooster?
Yeah, a nice like sheep's wool blanket. All that. I love a restaurant with a gift shop.
Tell you what, this wicker chair here, it's been out here for 2 years. No one's buying it. You can have it. You can have the wicker chair.
Well, the wicker chairs out front are great because they allow people to wait in comfort and you can sell them.
Yeah. Now, you looked like you were enjoying yourself sitting in that wicker chair right there.
It's the small things I miss with this pandemic, like going to Cracker Barrel and playing gigantic checkers in a wicker chair.
Yeah. The name Cracker Barrel is just so white. It's the whitest possible name they could come up with.
It's great. It feels like you're in an old barn. They got a fucking fireplace in the middle of it on almost every single one of them.
Yeah.
And they got that game where you play with you move the golf pins around.
Pins, yeah.
It stimulates the mind before you completely...
I mean, I would love to eat in any restaurant right now. Cracker Barrel or what. Like, I'd eat at fucking Chili's right now.
Oh,
It'd be
man.
a treat.
I was thinking about that the other day.
I get to order... I think at Chili's they now use iPads, which fucking sucks.
But yeah, I was saying, like, we've said this before, but like once the pandemic is finally over, it will literally be the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
People are going to get thrown out of Chili's every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
They're going to have to stop their 2-for-1 always happy hour at Chili's. It's going to get wild.
It's going to get wild. And other news, the Tokyo Olympics chief thinks it's annoying how much women talk in board meetings. And he has lost.
Yeah,
he has resigned
Yes.
from. This guy was the prime minister of Japan for like a year in the early 2000s. And they were like, this started off so innocent. It's just like, hey, we should try to increase the number of women on like the Olympics board because it's like pretty low right now. And he's like, okay, well,
here's the problem.
Sure, yeah, we should do that, but here's the thing, like, we need stricter rules about, like, how long people can talk in meetings, because if we add more women, like, the women, there's going to be yak, 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 and women be talking, you know? So, that's my only complaint about it. What? What did I say?
Why is everyone looking at me like that?
This guy's also, like, 90 years old.
Yeah.
Like, he's just, like, extremely old Japanese man in charge of the Tokyo Olympics, which, like, might not even happen anymore, and... just decides to like say some real old school like 1950s era sexist shit.
It's like, all right, I'll apologize to everyone, but I'm sending in my surrogate to do it.
Yeah.
I've hired a man to apologize to everyone in the room.
You can give my surrogate 50 lashes. I will be.
He will be taking
else.
the beating for me. Man dies after celebratory cannon fired at baby shower. So okay,
how do you tell a kid? Like what's the proper age to tell a kid that? Their baby shower or their gender reveal party resulted in a death or 16, a natural disaster.
16, they'll be like, oh, badass. So it wasn't like a gender reveal. It was a baby shower, but they were doing a gender reveal at the baby shower. They're like, we found a way to make this unproblematic. We're going to have the gender reveal party at the baby shower, so then people can't get mad at us for doing something stupid at a baby shower, which is more traditional.
Yeah, and they're like, look, we're just going to use this cannon. It's a non-firing cannon. There's no cannonball in it. You stuff a bunch of gunpowder or whatever. I don't know.
They're very cool when used properly.
Yeah, this one, they must have stuffed it. I don't know what happened, but the whole thing fucking exploded. It just turned into shrapnel and, killed a guy. Yeah. So it kind of ruins the mood. Kind of curses that child's life a bit, you would think.
I've seen these when I was a kid, one of my dad's friends had one. And every time we go over to his place, he'd set it off.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I mean, look, there's a lot of cool shit we can get into here in this country, but a lot of it's dangerous. Yeah. And just one guy dies at a baby shower. Oh, you got to shut down the entire miniature cannon industry?
Yeah, I mean...
the cannon industry needs to set in a surrogate.
You can pry my cannon from my cold, dead hands.
Yeah.
Or the cold, dead hands of my brother-in-law at my kid's baby shower.
Oh, one guy blew his hand off using a potato gun that he made out of PVC pipe, and now we all can't do it?
I made one of those as a kid. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Use the aerosol spray.
Yeah.
Like a little hole.
In.
You spray.
And the fire starter for the grill.
Yeah. One of those like spark starters.
Dude, boom! You would never see the potato again. We fired it across the entire neighborhood.
Oh,
Did you shoot it at something?
Yeah, we had like an old piece of plywood, and I fired the potato at it from like 30 feet away, and it fucking shattered the plywood.
Yeah, of course.
And I think my dad immediately was like, oh, this is a lot more dangerous than I remember.
Of course it is. We shot it into the air, and it must have cleared the entire neighborhood, and someone had a potato in their backyard or got hit by one.
It's raining potatoes.
Oh, my God. A lot of fun when we were kids.
90-year-old man spends $10,000 on 2 ads in the Wall Street Journal to tell AT&T CEO about his slow internet service.
And by God... he shouldn't have had to do this, but it worked. AT&T, the CEO personally called him to apologize.
This guy lives near here. He lives in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I've been a customer since the 1960s. I've been literally an AT&T loyal customer for 60 years, and this internet is bullshit. And I'm 90 years old, and I got all this money I saved up intelligently, and it's like, I'm probably going to die any day now. So I'm going to use that money, whatever.
It's spite money.
Yeah, it's spite money. Yeah. I'm going to, I admire that. When I'm that old, I will be just publishing ads in newspapers all the time just for kicks. Oh, who am I kidding? There won't be newspapers.
You'll have to invent a newspaper.
Yeah.
The Weekly Complainer.
I'll start a newspaper.
Yeah, the Weekly Complainer.
Yeah.
And everyone, instead of buying classified ads, can buy ads that bitch out companies that they're mad at.
Yeah.
And it all goes to the CEOs.
That's how you profit in journalism.
And
you just make the whole thing ads.
You make your money by, like, you know how, like, sorry kids, you know how the phone book used to be?
Yeah.
If you didn't want to be in the phone book, you had to pay extra to
That's
not
right.
be in the phone book.
Yeah.
The Weekly Complainer, Elliot's newspaper, you have to pay money to not receive it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a CEO of a company, you have, like, you're gonna get that newspaper in your mailbox unless you pay a certain amount of money.
Yeah. We can make these, we make this newspaper go away real easy. All you gotta do is...
But no, I like the guy
up.
for it. It's funny. Yeah, he's from this area. He bitched about it, and then the CEO of AT&T was like, "All right, sorry, we're gonna." But you shouldn't have to take out a $10,000 ad
But I
in Wall Street
appreciate
Journal.
it. This is the level of petty I hope to aspire to
Yes.
someday.
Yeah.
Utah lawmakers reject a bill that would require teaching consent in sex education classes. And I didn't know this, but Utah is below, it's like one of the safest states in every category of violent crime.
Except for domestic
Except for
violence.
sexual assault.
Yeah, and domestic
which
violence.
is
Yeah.
higher than the national average.
Yep.
Also, it makes more sense that they're not teaching consent in sex ed because they're not teaching sex in sex ed there.
Yeah, especially in
Like
Salt
they-
Lake with the Mormonism being.
But it's the entire fucking
yeah.
state. Like their curriculum is abstinence-only education, and it's all about like monogamy and marriage.
Yeah.
They don't tell you anything about like how sex works. I might be wrong about that. If you're from Utah, let us know.
Yeah.
But it's
Also, it's
fucking wild.
It's also crazy the times that I've been there. Like the alcohol thing is weird. Because if it's like brewed there, you can
Yeah.
go as buck wild as you want, but
Yeah.
no imported alcohol over a certain
Utah
amount.
has a lot of really good breweries.
Yeah, they do, and great whiskey and all kinds of
But if
stuff.
you're buying beer from like one of those government-owned like
and all
beer
the liquor stores are like government.
yeah,
owned,
it's like 2.5% alcohol. It's I remember getting fucking tanked at like the Salt Lake City airport. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Well, they have all these great beers on tap, but like I'm in Utah where like drinking is almost illegal.
I like Utah. I've never had a bad experience there.
Beautiful state.
iPhone and iPad users can't Google search the word Asian because Apple's adult filters think it's probably all porn.
This is so funny. Yeah, you can't even Google like Asian food, Asian restaurant near me. It's just no results. You fucking
sorry.
pervert.
We think you're searching for big anime titties, and we do not like that.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
No Asian for you. You fucking pervert. You weeb. You weeaboo.
Go eat your mayonnaise sandwich and be happy with it. No delicious Asian food.
Morgan Wallen's album sales surge after video shows him using racial slur.
Of course.
What a country. This guy says the N-word, calls someone that, gets caught on video, and people are like, hey, I'm going to check this guy out. I'm going to give this guy some money.
I've been looking for some new tunes.
Yeah, not enough country artists are just outwardly racist anymore. It's refreshing to have a just out and out racist
Yeah.
that I can listen to and know that they feel the same way about minorities that I do. A lot of these guys, your Luke Bryans and whatnot, they a little bit too woke for my taste.
I miss the old David Allen Coes.
Oh, Jesus. Probably the worst part about David Allen Coe is like aside from the
Terrible song. Yeah.
extreme racism,
Yeah.
like the songs kind of do slap.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks, but you can't enjoy them because it's just like the ramblings of a Klansman. But the backing music, pretty good.
Tell you what's good. That new Chris Stapleton album. I'm probably going to get roasted for that, but I think it's fantastic. Maybe real country heads hate it. I don't know. I think it's fantastic.
Well, what even is a real country head anymore? There's like...
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, because there's the bro country.
Yeah.
And then
Florida
there's-
Georgia Line, and there's, the mainstream Nashville.
Oh, you know who's great is Jonathan Wilson. I believe he worked on some Father John Misty albums, but he has a solo country project, and it's just him.
Oh.
And it's great. It's great.
All right.
Yeah, Jonathan Wilson. But Chris Stapleton, great like slow songs, and he also has, I think it's called Arkansas. It's a real fucking slapper. Just like billy billy billy, kind of like Smokey and the Bandit style fun country.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Nice. So listen to that stuff instead
Yeah.
of Morgan Wallen. Don't reward racism, you
Listen
fucking
to
weirdos.
Jonathan Wilson. It came out last year. Great album.
Also, watch How To with John Wilson.
Yeah, it's a great-
Speaking of Jonathan Wilson's,
Yeah.
great show.
Suspect wearing superhero branded mask uses sword to steal Magic the Gathering cards. And now that I'm into it, I can see why these are, a valuable commodity.
They
I've
are.
been super into Magic the Gathering since October. If you haven't been following me on Twitch or whatever, I have like 400 hours.
I've been playing this game for 10 years, and this fucking Johnny come lately.
Yeah,
He said he's only been playing for like 3 months.
I do enjoy it. It's been my pandemic like thing that I learned. I should have learned I was trying to learn piano, and instead I learned Magic the Gathering, which is I don't think a fair trade-off.
I'm trying to learn like sheet reading, like actual piano music theory right now, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just like, God damn it. I learned all this shit when I was a small child, and of course immediately forgot it because I'm like, this is lame. I want to play soccer.
But no, now that I'm knee deep in the Magic community and I understand everything and the collectible aspect and all that, I all these stories about people like getting insane over these cards makes sense to me. Someone posted like that clip from years ago where it was like I can't even remember the account name, but it's No Context Internet for Today. Yeah. Posted a clip of us talking about Magic the Gathering, and I was like, oh god, am I gonna talk shit about the game in this 5-year-old clip? And I was talking about a similar situation where someone got stabbed over Magic cards.
Yeah. It's real serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy wearing a mask of the Flash he's just putting like boxes of packs in his backpack, and he got caught. And they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He like, unsheathed the sword. He's like, "Nothing personal, kid." I don't know if he said that, but he probably did.
Going after the Black Lotus.
Yeah. Teleports behind you. Ex-Trump lawyer Sidney Powell hires Lynn Wood for defamation case.
Oh my god.
And I don't know why they haven't sued him. They've given him a cease and desist.
Yeah.
And like they've requested like.
Now it's double jeopardy because he's in the case.
Yeah, I don't know like what the like this is bizarre. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think any real lawyer would advise like representing a client who's being sued for doing something you also did and have been like approached with lawyers about. Seems like a bad idea, but I'm excited for this trial.
I can't remember if Court TV still exists or not, but I would watch this the same way people watched the OJ trial in the mid-90s.
Well, the thing is, like not every jurisdiction, but a lot of jurisdictions, their entire court proceedings are now like just live streamed to YouTube. So
we'll YouTube live this.
Yeah, it'd be real exciting. And final headline, 8-year-old calls out NPR for lack of dinosaur stories.
And he's not wrong.
Specifically, he's like, my mom likes to listen to All Things Considered in the car, but
they don't consider dinosaurs.
It seems like you haven't considered all things, such as dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It seems you're mostly considering some things, mostly politics. What about dinosaurs? They were cool about it. They were like, you're right, kid, you're right. We looked it up. We haven't talked about dinosaurs much, so we're going to let you interview a paleontologist.
Yeah.
And he did. It was a fun little segment. It was nice.
Yeah, that's great. Good for them.
Yeah.
And one day this kid's going to have a whole dinosaur show on his local NPR station.
Let's talk dinosaur things considered.
Yeah. And if you contribute to his local NPR show, you'll get a dinosaur tote bag.
Left, right, dinosaur.
Yeah.
Dino talk. Mm-hmm. Wait, don't tell me which dinosaur it is.
I would love, I've listened to that show more and more, and all I keep thinking is, how do we get on this show? Because would be so good at that trivia. I can't go on Schmodown. I suck at movie trivia.
Yeah.
But pop culture and current event trivia.
Yeah, every time I listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me, it's just the weekly weird news headlines from the previous week.
Yeah, pretty much.
I fucking killed it.
Same with, because I've been watching Jeopardy a lot more. Because I started like just watching to see how Ken Jennings would do as a host. And it just so happens like pretty much every night that it's on is when I'm usually cooking.
Yeah.
And I've done pretty well at Jeopardy recently.
I'm not good at it. I'm real bad.
I'm chalking it up to stopping drinking. My brain is back in new and exciting ways.
Yeah, could be.
It's going to get too big soon. Anyways, that's it for Weekly Weird News this week. Check out both of our most recent episodes over here, and we'll see you guys soon for just another fun week. Have a great, if you're celebrating President's Day, I don't know how you would celebrate it. We kind of just let Donald Trump get off scot-free, but enjoy the day off.
Yeah.
If you have it off.
Maybe all your days are off.
That could be true, too.
Anyway.
Enjoy yourself.
We live in a society.
Oh, God.
Goodbye.